shit.
You okay? You
I hit
literally
my
said
knee
that
on my
as I was pressing record.
I hit my knee on the desk and like everything on this side of my desk like shook. Like the wine bottle, my wine glass, my candle.
Oh my god. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Thoughts Shared Souls Bared. I'm Katie.
I'm Joe, pouring another glass of wine.
As she should be. Jill, how you doing?
I feel so good.
Today, for anybody who's wondering, today is January 20th, 2021. We inaugurated a new president today.
I've been on cloud nine like all day long. Like I've had such a good day.
I went on a walk yesterday, I go on a walk every day. I don't know what I'm talking about. I went on my walk today and the sun shined brighter. The air was sweeter.
So nice here all day.
Same. Like we had insanely terrible winds yesterday and today nice and breezy. And
it was a crisp 30 degrees all day today.
Oh, let's see what today was. Today was a high of 73.
Oh, that's nice though.
Yeah, I mean, considering the end of last week, it was like 90.
Yeah,
It got real hot last week.
It was a crisp 30 here and very sunny, so it was very nice. So
yeah, exciting. But yes, new president.
Howdy, Joe Biden.
I'm so excited for what these next 4 years are gonna hold. I truly feel like it is. I kept hearing like the joke yesterday, everyone going like, it's the end of an era. And
that
I was like,
so good. I saw that all over. My favorite thing that happened to me today.
Go on.
Was I posted on Instagram. A couple people that listen to us probably saw it. And I posted something similar on Facebook, which most of the people that are friends with me on Facebook are very conservative, have been very avidly Trump supporting people because that's what happens when you're from Kentucky and your family is from Kentucky and whatnot. But I posted on Facebook. I will read you my caption too. I posted. Let's see. I doubt it's a big surprise because I didn't talk much about the election on my Facebook because I just did not feel like getting into it with people. Like I just didn't feel like dealing with that. So I spent the majority of my like election posts on Instagram. But I posted, I doubt it's a big surprise that I voted for Biden-Harris, but I have so much hope today after the events of the Capitol that transpired 2 weeks ago and everything that has happened the last 4 years. What a day. And then I said, not to mention, I'm thrilled Dr. Jill Biden is our new first lady because anyone that knows me, I'm obsessed with Jill Biden. She is like my queen, and the fact that we have the same name just like makes me the happiest woman on the planet. And for anyone that saw Joe Biden's Instagram post today, he called her Jilly in his caption, and that's my nickname with my family. So I was like, I was feeling all kinds of special today. So, but I posted that on my Facebook, and one of my family members who has been very outwardly pro-Trump the last 4 years and has recently been just anti-politics. Like just anti people who are supposed to be serving citizens in America. She commented and she was in support of me. Like she was like, I'm so glad that like you are, doing your part and like all this other stuff. And I was like shocked. Like I was genuinely baffled that she commented that on my post. So that made me feel very good. But then I found out that she just didn't vote at all in 2020.
Oh my gosh. So, I don't know. I'm very excited. We're still going to continue to hold our politicians accountable. A lot of
things to do, yes.
Absolutely. I mean, Joe Biden isn't as liberal as a lot of Democrats would like. We still need to push for progressive change and progressive policies, including, canceling student debt and making sure that our undocumented friends can still live safely and peacefully.
Which he started working on that today.
It's like, yeah, by reinforcing DACA,
Mhm.
which I don't know about you, but like I know one or two DACA recipients, but
Right.
it's really exciting to see that it's going to be, hopefully continue to be, a safe place for them to reside, because they've been here since they were children. This is the home they know.
And and obviously a lot of people know this, he's working to further the rights of LGBTQ plus people, which love to see it, love hearing that. That's my favorite thing on the planet. And more in tune with this podcast, we got someone who loves the arts back in the White House.
Oh, God
We have
bless.
art supporters back in the White House.
That's what we need. What we need is like a cabinet position for arts.
I
And I
agree.
know
I
and
think
I know
that's
that's something that people have been talking about, is getting like a secretary of the arts. And I
mhm.
would love to see that happen. I would
Yeah, because
love to see that
as
happen.
much as people think that like the arts aren't essential, as much as people like to say that, I'm like, go one day without television or like music or anything like that, because the arts are inherently essential. Like we
Hmm.
would not be here today without the majority of arts workers and
Hmm.
things like like it's we wouldn't be able to exist as happily as we do without
Yeah.
art workers. So
I hope to one day see that become a cabinet position.
yes.
Um, I think it would be absolutely great. And I, you know, as many criticisms as we can throw at either of them, I love to see a Californian in the White House.
I
Or I
love
guess
to
she's not
see
technically in the White House, but
we love
seeing a
to see
Californian as our VP.
a female of color. We love to see
A Californian.
like I
She's
that's
from
what
the Bay
Katie's
Area.
supposed to
It's
talk
different.
about. We're like, we have a woman of color as the vice president. Like I posted on my Insta story, me and my roommate cheersing with our
Well,
sparkling rosé
look, the only
to
two
Madam Vice President.
presidents that California has brought forth were Reagan and Nixon. So I I don't necessarily want to
No.
boast about them.
Well, I'm from Kentucky, so what do you want?
President from, hold on, California. I spelled
Technically, Lincoln was born in Kentucky. So technically we had Lincoln, but I'm trying to think if there's been any others. We had
oh
Mitch
wait,
McConnell. I don't know
what?
what you want from me.
That makes no sense. It only says there's one person from California. That doesn't make any sense.
Ooh.
Well, I know it's probably Nixon. Then where was Reagan born? The Reagan Library is here. The Reagan Library is in Southern California.
I didn't think he was he is he from California though?
He might not be from California.
I don't know if
Hold
he's
on.
from California.
Oh, I guess, hold on.
I know he was an
Massachusetts.
actor.
Oh, and what an actor he was. California. Richard Nixon. Yep, he's from Yorba Linda. Knew that. Illinois.
Oh.
Yeah, but the Reagan Library is in Southern California. And he was also governor of California. And he was also president of SAG. I don't like Reagan.
No, not at all.
However, let me preface this. I know we always say, oh, we elected a movie star and a reality star, like the Republican Party did both of those. However, I do think that Reagan had more work experience,
Yes.
to say the least. I don't like Reagan. Let me keep
No.
making this clear.
But he did
Not
have more experience in the field.
I believe he was president of SAG. So he was president of a union
Yeah.
and then became governor of California and then became president. So he had experience.
This is gonna make me sound like an idiot, but whenever you were saying like, and he was governor of California, I was like, maybe should Arnold Schwarzenegger run for president?
Honey, no.
Because that was all I
No.
was thinking about. Like, I don't want it, but it just made me think about it.
No.
I just think that was so, oh god.
Anyway,
Anyways, moving on.
California has a history. California has a history of apparently electing movie stars as governor.
Naturally. I
Um,
see, here's the thing is because you're like a Californian in the White House, and I'm like, Kentucky had, because like I don't even know if we can claim Lincoln as like, because he was born in Kentucky, but he was like technically from Illinois because like he like was raised
this
there.
Wikipedia page that I got this information off of, that I learned Reagan isn't from California. Apparently, he's from Illinois. It claims
Mhm.
Abraham Lincoln as from Kentucky, so you can claim him.
Okay. Well, because he was born in Kentucky, so I went to his
Yeah,
birthplace when I was little. Because I was obsessed with Abraham Lincoln when I was a kid. Because
as you
like
should
whenever they
be.
teach you, when they
Hmm.
teach you, they're like, he freed the slaves, and you're like, wow, he's like
You're
the
like,
coolest person on the planet.
that's when
And
you
so
go,
I was like obsessed with him.
he freed the slaves, but he also did mention that if he could save the Union by not freeing the slaves, he would do that. But
Yeah,
he did. So,
yeah.
mm,
So it's like a conflicting thing. But like growing up, like when you're a kid and they teach you the bare minimum about Abraham Lincoln, you're like, damn, that's so cool. And so like I had a fat crush on Abraham Lincoln. I still call him Abraham Lincoln because he was attractive. So
I've never once heard a person say
you've
that.
never heard someone say that?
No.
I know so many people that thought that he was attractive.
He's from
Not like
Sinking
attractive,
Spring.
not attractive in the way that like, damn, I would 1000% marry this man. No, like attractive in the sense that like compared to other presidents, he was kind of cute. Like
Come on now.
the only presidents I've ever found attractive are Lincoln, Kennedy, obviously. Have you met me? Um, Obama and Joe Biden. Just those four.
I don't think I've ever found a president attractive.
Not even Obama?
No.
His voice alone. Are you kidding me?
I think Obama has the best personality.
He's just fun. He's a fun guy.
I think he's got the best personality.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
looks wise, not my fave.
Well, I think he's attractive. I think Joe Biden's attractive. I've
I
always
also
found
don't think the Kennedys, I don't think Jackie or John were that attractive. Jill, don't look at me like that.
I genuinely that hurt me.
People, I've
That
heard,
genuinely hurt me.
I've heard the argument so many times. Oh, he was the first like movie star looking president, and I'm like, mm,
I'm hurt, Katie. You just
maybe
hurt
for the
my feelings.
time,
You
but
hurt my feelings. I'm sad now. Damn, I'll
maybe
go
for
tell my Kennedy magazines under my bed. I'll go tell them to fuck off.
why the what order does this go in? Oh, this goes by okay. This goes by when they were born. Because I'm like, why on earth is Reagan before Nixon, before
Oh.
Ford, and before JFK? I got so confused.
My favorite
It's
thing
going
about,
by birth order.
so this is my favorite fact about like Kennedy and Nixon. And it's a fact everyone knows, but it's my favorite fact about the two of them. Is like the whole like debate thing. Like the debate situation where everyone who watched the debate on TV, because it was the first televised debate, was um, Kennedy and Nixon. Everyone who watched it said that Jack won, but everyone that listened on the radio said that Nixon won because Nixon on camera, he had horrible like stage fright and he was afraid of the camera, like he could not be on camera. But Jack, where he's so like charming and like perfect, and I say perfect physically. I mean, we all know he had his issues, but don't worry about that. It's like, have you heard about that? Like, that, like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like my favorite fact on the planet. I love that because I'm like, TBH, if I was watching it, I would have been like, Jack wins. If I was listening to it, I'd been like, Jack wins, because I love his voice. Kennedy's voice makes me happy. My parents got me like a record of like his speeches when I was like 16.
The Kennedy genes are strong. Like a Kennedy looks like a Kennedy.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna laugh at me for saying this. I think that Aaron Tveit has Kennedy in him.
I don't think
Look
so.
at him. He could play a Kennedy.
I don't.
Are you kidding me? You're the only person that doesn't agree with me.
So
Everyone else I said that to was like, yes, I see it.
Okay, but like, okay, so
it looks like Bobby more than anything, but
there's like a weird ticking sound and I can't figure out where it's coming from. But like, okay, so I was like scrolling through YouTube months ago, like maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And you know how when you like scroll over a video, it just starts playing? So I wasn't paying attention to it, but I looked up and I go, that person looks like a Kennedy. And I scrolled back to like figure out the name. And I think it was like Joe Kennedy III or whoever that person from Massachusetts was that just lost their Senate seat. I think it was him.
And was claiming that theater kids were bullying. Because they were.
But did not hear about that. But I was like, that person looks like a Kennedy. Just like I think Patrick Schwarzenegger looks like a Kennedy.
Oh, Patrick Schwarzenegger absolutely does. Yeah.
Because he is a Kennedy. Because his grandmother is a Kennedy. Anyway, it's wild.
Yeah.
All these things.
My favorite thing is,
anyway,
my sister and her boyfriend, they were listening to like Crime Junkies or something, and they were talking about not really a recent one, but there's a lot of Kennedys that have murdered women. Okay, let's just put that out there right now. A lot of Kennedys.
Oh, Ted Kennedy, and then he got like, people were like, he was the greatest like senator ever. He rolled a car over, abandoned with a woman in it, a mistress, I may add.
Kennedys love killing mistresses. Let me tell you,
he just let it roll, let the car fly off into the lake or wherever it was, and then got himself out and just left her to die.
Yep.
And then got like was kept getting reelected senator and was given like all of these honors and being like, oh, he was such a great person. Like when he died, like, are you kidding me?
She was talking about, I can't remember honestly, it may have been Ted that she was talking about, but I can't remember which Kennedy it was, because there have been a lot of instances where a Kennedy has killed a woman. That's just public knowledge. They were mobsters, like, come on. So
yeah, Joe was a bootlegger.
Yeah, so we were talking about it, and her boyfriend are like oblivious to this. I've been learning about the Kennedys my entire life because my dad raised me to love a conspiracy theory, to always know the facts about politicians, and like always look into their personal lives, because like that's like important, because it is. And I've always been infatuated with the Kennedys ever since I was a kid. They've always been like at the forefront of my mind. And I love Jackie O more than anything. She's like my favorite human being to ever live. Her and Marilyn both, which is ironic, but my dad taught me a lot about the Kennedys growing up. I watched a lot of documentaries. I read a lot about them. And my sister, she was talking about this one night, and she was like, did you know about that? And my dad and I were in the room and we just laughed. Like we were like, yes, we do know about that. And then we started like listing off like all these other like Kennedy cases, like with the Kennedy curse and like, you know, all that stuff. And then she texted me the other day and she's like, what was that podcast that talks about like the Kennedys? And I was like, what podcast? And she was like, the one that you were talking about. I was like, no, that was just my knowledge of the Kennedys. What do you mean? I was like, I just know all this shit because I'm a psychopath. And she's like, well, what was the one that you were talking about where you said you learned about like how they killed Marilyn? And I was like, that's just my knowledge of the Kennedys. Like, I just know much about JFK. Like, I was like, this isn't a podcast. This is just my brain at all times.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing to me, but
yeah. And what's also weird is like, Robert Kennedy Jr. is like full on anti-vax.
Yeah.
And he's married to Cheryl Hines, which is weird, but it's just it's anyway, speaking of the Kennedys, today's episode is all about Smash. Sorry, it took us a while to get into this, but
Right.
we have it's been a day. Like,
Yes.
allow us to have this day.
Yes. Allow us to discuss the Kennedys for 20 minutes.
And having a new president.
Yes. We didn't even introduce ourselves yet.
Oh, hi, I'm Katie.
I'm Jill.
And we talk about whatever the hell we want to on here. It's usually theater related, but sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's the Kennedys.
But today's episode is all about Smash.
Which is my favorite thing on the planet to talk about.
Yeah. So Smash is a TV show that was on NBC from 2012 to 2013. It lasted 2 seasons. It starred Megan Hilty, Catherine McPhee, Deborah Messing, Christian Borle, Angelica Houston. Help me out with, that's his name, Jack Davenport.
My king.
And then, you know, it featured a lot of your Broadway faves. Like in season 2,
Leslie
it
Odom
had
Jr.
Yes, he was in season 1. Season 2, we had Jeremy
He was in
Jordan,
season
Andy
2.
Mientus.
Leslie Odom
Was
Jr. was in
he?
both seasons. Mhm.
Was he? He
He's
straight up.
in Hit List.
I haven't watched season 2 since it came out.
He was like in Hit
He
List.
leaves. He leaves to be in
That's
the Book of Mormon tour.
Book of Mormon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Chris Rodriguez, Andy Mientus, Jeremy Jordan. You have Anne Harada. Lin-Manuel Miranda is in an episode raving about Jonathan Groff, as he always should be.
Christian Borle.
But like is raving about Jonathan Groff because he remains on brand always.
Naturally.
Who else is in it?
Everybody.
Did Patty ever
Annalie Ashford. Annalie Ashford is in it.
Oh, she's in the very beginning.
And then she comes back and does that one scene where she's like, "Yeah, I make stationery now. I just got out of the
yes.
scene."
Yes, I remember this.
That was like one of my favorite scenes in the show.
But the show, you know, it's about them making a musical about the life of Marilyn Monroe, which it was like EP'd by it was executive produced by Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. And it was
Steven Spielberg loves himself a musical, let me tell you.
He does, and he's definitely trying to get more into it now. What with West Side Story.
My queen, Rachel Zegler, please notice me. Love me.
And I remember reading or hearing somewhere that Steven Spielberg's mission with the show was that after one season, they would have enough like information or whatnot to be able to actually stage this musical and put it on Broadway, which is a lofty goal, but Steven Spielberg is Steven Spielberg, so he probably could have done
whatever
it.
He wants. Yeah.
That did not happen, but you know, we got 2 seasons of a TV show out of it. And the music in it is actually very good. It's written by Mark Schumann and Scott Whitman.
Like some of my favorite songs are in it.
Yeah, like Lexington and 52nd Street. Let Me Be Your Star. Hang the Moon.
I sent you videos on my drive. Do you remember? I sent you videos on my drive back to my university. Did you get them on Snapchat?
I probably did. I probably opened them and I forgot about them because that was a couple weeks ago.
I sent you videos of me singing Public Relations and Let's Be Bad. Those are like 2 of my favorite songs in Bombshell. Public Relations is my favorite song in Bombshell. I'm gonna put that out there right now. Public Relations had
Public Relations are my favorite kind.
I was looking for, I have the Smash book, like the book that the show is based on. I don't know where I put it, but I have it somewhere. And I was gonna look in it to see what that musical was about because I can't remember. That book is from like the 80s. The book is old. Because I can't remember what the book was like the musical was about, but it's like a thick, like it's like big. It's a hefty read. I haven't even started it. I've had it for 5 years. I've never even started it. But I love the Marilyn musical. I love the idea of a Marilyn musical. It makes me happy. It makes me like the happiest woman on the planet.
I do really, so Smash was a show that it got a lot of criticism because it was a not well written show, but it truly fed every Broadway fan exactly what we needed. because it was like it gave us a glimpse into the backstage world of Broadway while featuring actual Broadway actresses. Like Megan Hilty was the first Glinda I ever had. I
And I
like to
love
be able to see her was on a TV was amazing.
I so I'm a huge Marilyn freak. I talked about this in our last episode. I'm a huge Marilyn, like I'm obsessed with her. And I don't watch a lot of movies and TV that involves Marilyn because I don't think it's ever done right. I don't think Marilyn is ever done correctly. But Bombshell is as close as I have ever gotten to genuinely wanting to see it. Because I think that the way that they were writing Bombshell was the closest to being as accurate, like as she deserves to have been portrayed. And I'm so sad that they switched up Bombshell the musical for Smash the musical.
Yeah, because that's something that they're
Oh,
gonna do now. It's in the works is a Smash musical, which doesn't make any sense because nobody wanted that. Everybody was like, let's have Bombshell. And like, sure, I personally am like, we've progressed past the point of needing that. Yeah, it exists. However, I do think that if we were to get a Bombshell musical, it would work so well on its own as its own standalone piece of theater.
it would,
I
because
don't
that's what it
think
was
we
written.
need
That's
I don't
what they
think we
were
need
doing
a
with
show
it.
about a show.
Well, like
It's
Mark Sherman and Scott Whitman have been working on Bombshell the musical for a while, like since Smash aired. Like they were like, we're gonna make this because it's gotten a lot of good, like a lot of people want it. It's gotten really good reception with like the music
and
and
that
everything.
was the goal from the beginning.
Right, and that's what I still want. I still want Bombshell the musical. I don't care about Smash the musical. I can watch the show whenever I want. I don't want to have to travel to see the same thing on a stage. I just don't like Smash is it's fine on its own. Like it doesn't need to translate to a stage. I don't understand why we need to do that. It's going to be weird, it's going to be clunky. It's going to be just very I don't like the only word I can think of is weird. Like it's just going to be a weird thing and I don't want it.
It would be weird because the people who would be going to see it are people who are fans of the TV show,
Right.
and everybody who's a fan of the TV show wanted Bombshell. They didn't want. It's like a weird consolation prize.
And then like and some people wanted Hit List, but Hit List would never be on Broadway. That's just the tea. If Hit List was made in real life, that would be an off-Broadway show. There's no way that that would make it on Broadway. Like the TV show makes it seem like Hit List would be some like huge like this
Right?
is
They
going to
essentially made it Rent.
right, but Hit List would not work on Broadway as well as they said it would on the show. Like it just wouldn't. It's too niche. Like it's way too niche. And I understand what the plot of Hit List is, but at the same time, I don't get it. Like at the same time, it's so all over the place. I don't fully get it. Like it's just very confusing to me. But
Yeah,
but Bombshell
it's
is perfect. I love Bombshell. I love a Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman musical, and I love Bombshell. I love it.
yeah, and the whole first season, because like what would Smash the musical even be? The whole first season of Smash is, are we going with Karen? Are we going with Ivy? Are we going with Karen? Are we going with Ivy? And it's like, yeah, we get it. Like, and obviously, it would always be Ivy.
I mean,
She's
she'll
got
always be Ivy. Ivy is Marilyn.
she
Marilyn
has
Hilty is
the
Marilyn.
yeah,
She was
but she
in
has
Gentlemen
the
of Her Blood.
experience.
Like
Exactly. She has the experience. She has like Ivy has the experience. She knows exactly how like a Broadway show
is the
works.
body
She's
type
worked
for it.
she's worked her way up. And and Karen, it's like, yeah, you want to give it to the underdog because Marilyn was an underdog. Marilyn, like Ivy,
Not in the way that Karen was an underdog. Like it was like Karen Cartwright, from the moment she started in the show, I did not like her. And it's not because I didn't like Kat McPhee. I tried to give Karen Cartwright a chance. I could not stand her. I feel like she expected everything to be handed to her when she
she was
didn't
a real
deserve it.
Karen.
She was a real Karen. She was like the definition of a Karen. She like expected everything
And
to be
everything
handed to her
was handed to her. She's like, I'm just this sweet
for
little
no
girl from
reason. She's
Iowa.
mediocre. Like,
She's just like, I'm this sweet little girl from Iowa. Like, don't I deserve it for because I'm so nice?
like shut
And then they
up.
kept
You're
saying
so
like she's too she was and it's like a line they kept saying, she's too green. She's too green for this role.
she was too green. And they continually and he continually was like, she's my muse. No, why is she your muse? She doesn't look like Marilyn. She doesn't act like Marilyn. Like, nothing about her was Marilyn in any way. Like,
I can kind of
that's my
understand
one.
why. I am always in forever Team Ivy, but I can kind of understand you like, okay, well, she was like sensitive and as shy and introverted as Marilyn was, and
Ivy technically was, though, too.
but Ivy also had that kind of like,
She had the
I
stage presence.
she did.
But like my whole thing is like Marilyn she was guarded and she was introverted in her personal life. But as soon as she turned on like her stage presence, she was on, which is how Ivy was. And I just like, I don't like, that's just, Karen never was that for me, ever.
Yeah, I will forever be Team Ivy. I I don't I don't understand how it was ever between the two of them.
It never
It
made sense.
makes no sense. And then, but the thing is, like, Ivy then like went and like sabotaged herself by getting drunk and then performing in Heaven on Earth or whatever that
Okay,
show was with Norm with
right.
Norman Leo Butz, the
King.
dead angel.
But like every time I rewatch it, like the first time I watched it, I was like, "Ooh, girl, maybe not a good idea." But like every time I rewatch it, I'm like, "Can you blame her?" Like she was
That's
fucked
supposed to make you
over.
feel like, and that's supposed to make you feel like, oh, she understands like the addictive side of Marilyn, the addictive side of show business, of wanting to be the best, but never actually getting there and always being like second guessed by everyone around you.
Yeah.
But still,
Like,
it
yeah,
was like a oof.
yeah, it was like, oof, but at the same time, I was like, I really can't blame her because she got fucked over by like everybody in that
Yeah, but
moment.
then she
Like,
showed unprofessionalism. You can't do
uh,
that.
well, yeah, I know that, but like, I don't know. It just, Karen makes me mad. I just hate Karen Cartwright. I hate Kat McPhee. I hate, I can't, like, I hate it so much.
Oh my god.
But one of my favorite parts of season one is Will Chase. I could discuss him in Smash for like 1,000 years. I love Will Chase, especially in this show. Um, and I love his entrance. I love how they were like, oh yeah, he's doing that Bruno Mars musical. And then it's like this like grungy grenade. It was like literally he comes in singing grenade.
Catch a grenade for
Yeah.
you.
Like American Idiot, but like Bruno Mars. Like that's essentially what it was.
My god. And then
He's
and
so
then
good.
Deborah Messing's character Julia, she just like upends her entire life so that she can end up being with him. Like, I'm sorry, you're married to Shrek. Like, you're, you're married to Brian Darcy James, for God's sake. I would choose Brian Darcy James over. I'm sorry,
I would choose Will
I would
Chase.
choose I would choose Shrek over the second Shakespeare.
Here's the thing. I am a High Fidelity fan. I love High Fidelity. I love the movie, I love the musical, I love the TV show. I love High Fidelity. So I love Will Chase so much. So I would 1,000% prefer Will Chase to Brian Darcy James. No offense to Brian Darcy James. I love him. He's just not my type.
No,
It is.
no, I want the original Nick Bottom versus the replacement Shakespeare. And I
Listen, I
will
want
not
him painted
apologize.
green on that altar.
I love Brenda. Those brows.
No.
Oh.
Can't blame. Okay, so here's the other issue though. I don't have an issue with Brian Darcy James. This is the issue with like looking at him in a romantic way. Is I recently watched his episode of SVU where he was like this big shot
Oh my
producer.
god.
He was like this big shot producer who was like raping teenagers. I'm just like,
Jill.
I'm sorry.
No. He only
SVU
plays
ruins me. I mean, SVU literally ruins me. Katie, I don't know.
he only plays the stay-at-home dad who just wants his marriage to work on Smash. Or he's Shrek. Or
he is not a Hollywood producer who murders children and rapes them.
he's Shrek. My man is Shrek.
Oh no. Oh
Oh my
god.
god.
One of my favorite lines in Smash is in the first episode when what's Deborah Messing's name?
Julia?
Juliet, thank you. That's like one of my favorite names. Why did I forget that?
I
When
couldn't tell you
Juliet
what Christian Borle's character's name is.
it came and I forgot it.
Or anyone
Anyways,
else's character's name.
yeah, valid. I one of my favorite lines is she goes home and she was like talking to her son and
Derek.
she's like,
That was
Derek Rose.
Jack Davenport's character.
Yes. I love when like she goes home and she like looks at her son and she's like, when I say Maryland, what do you think of? And he goes, Baltimore, Maryland. And then she goes, the name Maryland, and he goes, Marilyn Manson.
That kid, for whatever reason, not the greatest actor in this show.
No, but he's really good in the movie Brooklyn.
Yes, really good at Brooklyn, but in this show, something was off.
I love Brooklyn. That's like one of my favorite movies.
It's a real good movie.
So good. But season 1 of Smash is like so chaotic in like the best ways. Like it's like,
yes, but also season 2 couldn't tell you what happened in it. I know Hitless is a thing, and I know Kyle Bishop.
My favorite
That's
part
Andy Mantis' character's name.
My favorite part of season 2 is the day
Jennifer Hudson's in season 2.
My day the Tonys are all singing Under Pressure.
No, I'm sorry. This is a very big spoiler for Smash. Season 2, Kyle Bishop, played by Andy Mantis, is singing Everybody Loves You Now, and then gets hit by a truck and dies. Oh, it's a bus. It's not a truck. I thought it was like a semi.
No,
he gets hit by a bus and dies. I don't know.
Well, now I don't know what it is, but
he gets hit by, he walks into traffic, and he's like, everybody loves you now. Look, boom.
It was jarring. Like, I remember watching it for the first time and genuinely like having to like stop for a second and just like,
well, it probably immediately went to commercial.
Yeah, but I remember like turning off my TV because I was like, I need a break. Like, I need a second, because I loved Kyle. Kyle was so stinking cute, and I just love Andy Mantis, so it's fine. But like, I vividly remember that happening and me just being like my heart stopped for a second. Like, I genuinely was shocked by the fact that they did that. And then the next episode comes out and you're like, oh, they're doing a Jonathan Larson thing. Like, then you're like really like, oh, it's literally Rent. Like, I get it. Except for it's the
little off-Broadway show that could.
Instead of AIDS, he got hit by a bus.
Also, that show goes from off-Broadway to Broadway so quickly.
Too quickly. Where did they get the money?
Within the same season? Because I'm pretty sure that Bombshell opens, and then right as Bombshell's opening, I mean, even if you space it out to the point where it's like Bombshell opens, let's say Bombshell opens in, and I don't know how accurate this is compared to the show because I have not watched the show since it aired. Assuming Bombshell opened in July or August.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a summer
Hit
show.
List,
a summer show.
Opened right next, like off Broadway, opened right after that. Mm-hmm. And then yet they were still eligible for the same season's Tony Awards. Yeah. Because it ran off Broadway, then closed, then moved quickly to Broadway in the same season. That's quick. That is like, it was like so quick.
Yeah, but it's like, and also what doesn't make sense to me is because I'm pretty sure that Hit List made it to Broadway February or March, and at that point they're barely eligible for a single Tony. Like,
you have until the end of April.
Yeah,
typically it's like April 28th.
But you think about other shows that open February, March area, they never get nominated for many because like there's not enough time to go and see them before all the voting and everything. So it's like, I don't know, like,
I don't think that's true. Because
historically speaking, on other shows that I love that have opened around that time, they never get nominated.
I don't necessarily think that's true. But yeah, it moved very quickly. I can't personally think of a show that opened off Broadway and then on Broadway in the same season.
I can't either.
Usually there's a season or two between.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking, like, even like going back in the past couple of years, Hades Town, there was a couple seasons between the two of
Frozen
those.
was a whole season between.
Well, Frozen was never off Broadway. It was an
Was
out
it
of
a
town.
pre-Broadway? I'm thinking pre-Broadway even.
No, I'm
Because
thinking off
well,
Broadway.
no, but I'm also taking into account like shows that do pre-Broadway runs, but instead of off-Broadway, because like the timeline is
Really,
still similar.
I'm trying
Because
to like
you
the
still are
one
working
scenes,
with the book the same way.
but I think it's more likely that a show goes from pre-Broadway to Broadway in the same season because like Amelie did it, Ain't Too Proud did it. I mean, Ain't Too Proud had like a full pre-Broadway tour. It was weird.
Oh yeah,
So it was like open it was open in LA, the ones I've
that's
seen,
true.
and then moved to Broadway that
That's
season. But it's
Ain't
like,
Too Proud did things so weird. Like Ain't Too
well, so
Proud
did
is
Come
so
From
wild.
Away. Come From Away did the
Yeah,
same thing where they did a pre-Broadway tour.
yeah.
But what's weird is that for the past 5 years, or the past 5 Tony Awards, I should say, because who knows what's happening. All of the shows that have
When are we
won
getting
Best
to
Musical,
2020?
who knows? All the shows that have won Best Musical have been an off-Broadway transfer. Hades Town, 2018 was what? The Band's Visit.
Mm-hmm.
2017 was Dear Evan Hansen. 2016 was Hamilton. 2015 was Fun Home. Yeah, so those past 5 were
And like also
all, and they opened the next season.
mm-hmm. And I was also thinking Next to Normal was next season.
Yeah, so hit list doesn't make sense.
Next to Normal had like 1,000 different runs. Like Next to Normal did so much.
Well, they started at what, Arena Stage in DC,
Mm-hmm.
and then they went to second stage, and then they went to Broadway, which is what Dear Evan Hansen did.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense because I think they're both Michael Greif
Mm-hmm.
direction.
Yep,
makes sense.
King. I'm trying to think. I was gonna add something to that, and then I forgot what it was. Anyways, what else do you love about season 1 of Smash? What's your favorite part of season 1 of Smash?
Bernadette Peters playing Ivy's mom.
I love Bernadette Peters coming in and just singing Everything's Coming Up Roses. Like so out of pocket, so like no one saw it coming.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't. So that show is wild.
I love it so much.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's probably definitely my favorite of the Broadway or the musical TV shows.
It's my absolute I love Smash. It's just so good. My favorite thing about season 2. So like what I love the music in Hit List. Like I think the music for Hit List is so good. I mean Pasek and Paul are like they're Pasek and Paul, come on. But that was like my first introduction to Pasek and Paul. And so like well, no it wasn't. Was it?
Dogfight was mine.
Dogfight and Smash actually were around the same time for me. Like I discovered Dogfight around the same time as Smash. So I guess they were both my first introduction. But Hit List was like I don't really understand it as a whole. Like I think it's because Bombshell we went in deeper with the plot of Bombshell, whereas Hit List was kind of like a side thing. But I love the music of Hit List so much. It's like one of my favorite like musicals to like jam to in my car. Like I love listening to Hit List music because it's just like Pretender. I love listening to Pretender.
I don't know any of the music in Hit List. I haven't listened, like I haven't watched season 2. I haven't listened to the music in it since.
You need to watch the Hit List concert.
I probably should.
It's very, very good. I'll send it to you if I find it.
Okay.
But because Krista's in it, obviously.
Amazing.
I mean, it's the majority of like the Hit List cast, other than
what I remember about season 2 is Chris Rodriguez gets fired from Hit List, and then she goes and joins the national tour of Once or something. Like
Yeah.
at one point she's singing "If You Want Me."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek fires her. And then
So wait,
she's like,
he's doing both Hit List and
at one
Bombshell?
point, yeah, at one point he was doing both. But then once Hit List started to take off, he was like, I'm done with Bombshell. I'm sick of it. I'm done with this. And so then they're like, well, where are we supposed to get a new director? And so they
Is it
have,
Tom?
and then Tom, yeah, Tom comes
That's
in.
his name.
Yeah. And then they have Tom do the directing or whatever. And then it's all messed up because Karen is playing Marilyn, and Karen is not Tom's Marilyn. She's Derek's Marilyn. So then Karen leaves to go to Hit List, and then Tom is like, I know the perfect person to come and play Marilyn. And then he goes and gets Ivy, and we're all thrilled. We're all just
As
thriving,
he should.
as he absolutely should. And the other weird part of like that whole thing is, what's Angelica Houston's character?
I'm I keep wanting to say Erica, but it's not Erica.
Not Erica. Um,
It's and um oh ooh, this is gonna bother me.
yeah.
Anyway, keep going. Keep going, keep going.
She loses the rights, not the rights, but she loses, yeah, she technically loses her rights to produce Bombshell, and it goes to her husband because they're
Ex-husband.
like, yeah, because they're divorced, like in their divorce or whatever,
Eileen
like the whole
Rand.
Eileen, thank you. Um, so it's like this whole issue with like legalities and everything, and then she learns that, what is it, like, since she used Marilyn's like notebooks and stuff from like the Marilyn estate, she owns more Bombshell than her ex-husband does. So she's like, idiot, I'm taking you to court. And then they don't even go to court. She's just like, get out of here. And then he leaves, and then he goes to Hit List, and he's like, I'm gonna produce Hit List and put this shit on Broadway to compete
Mhm.
against my ex-wife. And then his ex-wife wins because she's better and Bombshell is better.
Yeah. And then Ivy wins the Tony for playing
As
Marilyn.
she should.
Oh, oh, Smash. What a
I love
show.
Smash. It makes me so happy.
Ugh. Well,
We
I
talked about
do
it.
feel like
We talked about it in last week's episode, and ever since then, I just like keep listening to Smash. Like this, like,
I need
oh,
to start listening to Smash more.
you
But
should.
I feel like, yeah, that's Smash. That's our thoughts on Smash. We both love it. It's our favorite show
I could talk
of
about
the
it more, but we only have so
so
long
much time.
to discuss.
All right. All right. Maybe later we'll revisit.
Yes.
So, Jill, where can people find us online?
On Instagram and TikTok, we are at Thoughts Shared Podcast, and yeah, because I deleted our Twitter.
Oh my God. Bye, Twitter.
Yeah, no, thank you. Oh, and then my
Um,
personal social media is at It's Jill Hayes on all platforms.
and on Instagram, I'm at Complete Katie, and on TikTok, I'm at Katiefornia. So, find us there. Have fun. Let's talk about Smash some more. Um, so until next week, bye.
Bye.